Hi, my name is Josh. I am a 4-year veteran of the Army, and I was an analyst. And I'm here on this video to contrast Steve Rogers' experiences in the military in Captain America versus my own. I also have a gym in Clawson, Michigan, GPC, where we offer a wide variety of fitness classes and personal training options for a good price. I put a big emphasis on being creative and trying new things.
What'd your father die of?
Mustard gas. He was in the 107th Infantry. I was hoping I could be assigned.
Your mother?
She was a nurse in a TB ward. Got hit, couldn't shake it.
Sorry, son.
Look, just give me a chance.
You've been eligible on your asthma alone.
There are definitely some similarities here with recruitment. You're definitely just a number in a room full of people, a lot of guys, a lot of awkward situations around people that you don't know. There was a period of time when I was being given several shots, and I had to pull down my pants and someone stuck a needle in my ass, and that's just part of the process. So there is some crossover there. They call it hurry up and wait, because they make you hurry up a bunch, but then you end up waiting 3 hours everywhere you go to get things done. So very boring process. I had to take an aptitude test. It was called the ASVAB, and if you score high enough, you get more job choices. I took the test, and then I drove with them several hours away to the Kansas City, it's called a MEPS station. I don't remember what the acronym is, but it was like where they induct you. So I had to go there a couple times. The first time was to confirm my contract, because that's what it is. It's a contract. And I came back again, and that's where this stuff started happening. So is this just big station? They probably, they probably have them in large cities near whatever towns, I'm guessing. And then I ended up shipping off to Fort Leonard Wood in Missouri, where I did basic training.
Recruits, attention! Gentlemen, I'm Agent Carter. I supervise all operations for this division.
Agent Carter,
Colonel Phillips.
I can see that you are breaking into candidates. That's good. Get your ass up out of that dirt and stand in that line at attention until somebody comes and tells you what to do.
Yes, sir.
So when I got to basic training, they had us on these things called cattle cars.
Okay.
And it's probably how you would imagine. It felt like we were inside of these containers, shipping containers for cattle, and we were all stuffed in there. And the second they opened the doors off of these cattle cars, they were pulling us out into a training environment. And they have, so in the military, there's lower enlisted. In the Army, there's lower enlisted, there's senior enlisted, and then there's warrant officers, and then there's officers. Drill sergeants are senior enlisted, or they're non-commissioned officers, right? These are the ones who you see in movies and stuff like that. So they're wearing the wide brim hats, they have it tipped down, they look really intimidating. What they would do is they were pulling us out and they tell us what to do, and that's when it began. You didn't have time to do anything. They'd start swarming you and harassing you, and it all began there. I'm sure there were people who talked back. I wasn't one of them. I kind of stayed low-key the best I could. I didn't want to target on my back. Whatever argument you might have with them, they're probably going to end up winning, or you're going to be out of the military. They would just escalate to a point that they would win. I think there's probably some limitations these days on physical altercations and stuff. I'm sure that they couldn't do that technically speaking, but I heard a lot of stories about things happening anyway, because they have a lot of authority in that environment. You are put in this position where you just want to listen, and if you don't, other people will pay for it, not just yourself. People who don't know you, and then they're going to hate you. You're also just outnumbered by these drill instructors. They're going to swarm you and harass you and make you do things. So they're going to try and break you down. That's what is going to happen.
Our goal is to create the best army in history. But every army starts with one man.
Roger! Get off of there!
At the end of this week, we will choose that man. He will be the first, and a new breed of super soldier.
Roger! Get that rifle out of the mud!
I think they got some of that montage from probably watching basic training or getting other people who have had the experiences there. We had obstacle courses and we had to do low crawling through the mud. Those are things that I think everybody pretty much in the Army experiences. I actually experienced the exact same thing he did on those the rope netting where they got the rope squares.
Oh, really?
If you catch your foot wrong, you'll flip upside down, and I did that, and I actually fell off of it, but it was a lot higher, and there was a big cushion below, so luckily there's a cushion there. I was in basic training in the fall of 2005, so the Army is always changing. The Army is always changing, so it might not be exactly what I say it is. It could be different today. It was 16 years ago.
That flag means we're only at the halfway point. First man to bring it to me gets a ride back with Agent Carter. Move! Move! Come on, get up there! Rogers! I said fall in!
Thank you, sir.
I don't know what drove this or what was like, if they were told by someone else they could do it, but the drill instructors gave us opportunities at rewards for exemplary, performance or behavior. You have a PT test in the military. I don't know if it's changed since then, but you had 2 minutes of push-ups, 2 minutes of sit-ups, and a 2-mile run. And there's scoring. And there were periods of time where people who scored well on the PT test would get extra advantages, extra food maybe, or get relief from doing some other responsibility, I remember that. I remember we had to memorize things, so there were, I don't remember it now, but there was like a soldier's creed, and there was other pieces of information they wanted everybody to memorize, and they had a competition about like a trivia competition, and whoever won that won some prize, and I won the trivia competition in my group. I think I actually was promoted from an E1 to an E2 early because I did that. So there were opportunities. Maybe not in that capacity. I think the flag thing would be 100% up to the drill instructor. He was disobedient to the drill instructor for just a second there, and it depends on their temperament. So if the drill instructor wanted to punish him for it, I could totally see that being just as likely.
Win wars. Guts.
Grenade! Move, move, move! Get away! Get back!
We have ranges where we go, and there's certain etiquette that you need to have with firearms, like not flagging people, like aiming the gun in the right direction. And there are people who don't think a lot, and they may take that rifle and point it down range at other people, and that is often a good excuse for them to get knocked on their ass by a drill instructor because everybody's safety is at stake. So it's taken very seriously, because I'm sure in the past accidents have happened, people have been hurt from that. And we had a live fire range with grenades, we've had live fire ranges with a lot of stuff, and they take a lot of precautions with things like that. So I would say in my experience that wouldn't happen, but Hollywood, right?
I don't know if you're allowed to tell me this actually, but what was the coolest gun or thing that you fired? Are you allowed to tell me?
Sure. There's a secondary training that everybody in the Army goes through. It's called AIT. The Army, especially in basic training, is more of basic infantry training. So that's foot soldiers. And there are other specialties. People go on to a secondary training environment. So if you are involved with tanks or armor or cavalry, which is like basically armored vehicles as well, but they're more about speed. They're not as heavily armored. you might fire larger weapons, you know, or more sophisticated systems. But I fired, you know, a lot of infantry type weapons, M16, right? So that's that standard Army rifle that we had at the time. There was a 50 cal, there's a 50 cal machine gun, very, very strong, heavy machine gun, 240 Bravo. So this was an infantry, probably like a mid-sized machine gun that, so if you were in an infantry group, there would probably be somebody carrying 240 Bravo. It's a heavier machine gun, something called a Mark 19. It's an automatic grenade launcher. So that was probably my favorite thing to fire. I got to fire some rounds of a Mark 19, and you know, you're just shooting explosive projectiles so far away at an automatic rate. Boom, 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 boom. And there was also the Stinger shoulder fired rocket launcher. So
You fired one of those?
duds, nothing live. So yeah,
Come on.
it was still cool
Come
to
on.
experience. Yeah, probably too expensive. I don't know. I was just in basic training, so yeah. So those are some of the things I fired. My favorite was the grenade launcher.
The casualty list from Mazzano.
You don't get to give me orders, son.
I just need one name. Sergeant James Barnes from the 107th.
You and I are going to have a conversation later that you won't enjoy.
Please tell me if he's alive, sir. B-A-R.
I can spell.
There is a big emphasis on your bearing, meaning how you present yourself. And as a lower ranking person, you would never go in and demand something of someone higher ranking than you. I think most people have seen saluting before. That is a form of paying respect to someone of a higher rank than yourself. The person of the lower rank initiates the salute. And this is to indicate the rank difference. If you're lower rank, you initiate the salute. You wait for them to salute you, and then you drop the salute. So, in a manner of speaking, they are in control of the interaction. If they want to ignore you, they can. They shouldn't, because it's a form of military respect. But you're basically standing aside, you're giving them the salute, and you're waiting for them to pass. And generally, they're going to give the salute back, and then you drop yours. So the idea is that you're awaiting them. If they have anything to say to you, you're getting out of their way, etc. I have seen interactions where people of lower rank lose their bearing and get in trouble for it. They may lose rank or may have to do extra duty, something along those lines. So there is definitely consequences for saying something you shouldn't. There is a difference in the way that you show non-commissioned officers respect versus officers. Officers today in the military, I believe it has to do with having a degree. You have to have a degree, and you have to have gone through officer candidate school or something along those lines, where being a non-commissioned officer is something that anybody can do after they enlist. It's just attaining enough rank to be put into like a supervisor position or a management position. So there is a position called at ease where I place both hands behind my back when addressing someone of higher rank than me. And usually it's in the form of like a request rather than any kind of demand. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay fresh and stay golden.
Guess what? The Gold Life is now an affiliate partner of NordVPN. Information is a huge commodity nowadays. Companies want to know where you live, where your car is parked, what you eat, where you work out, the passwords you have, the websites you're on. Your personal information is being bought and sold by these giant tech companies without your permission. Protect yourself at all times on up to 6 devices using NordVPN. I have it on my laptop and my phone. That way, whenever I go connect to a public Wi-Fi anywhere, I don't have to worry about a thing. Another cool deal is that you get to connect to other countries and get access to their Netflix movies and TV shows, giving you a whole new array of entertainment so you can binge even harder. Use my link in the description down below to get 68% off a 2-year plan of NordVPN with a 30-day money-back guarantee.